Phillipsburg Town Council Work Session, April 3rd, 2024. The Town of Phillipsburg proposes incarceration in prison for landlords. Under the currently proposed rent control ordinance, if a landlord violates the timeline for reporting requirements or other provisions of the proposed Phillipsburg rent control agreement, the ordinance provides the authority for the town to incarcerate the landlord. The following comments were presented by Phillipsburg Councilman Keith Kennedy.
Councilman Kennedy?
Okay, first of all, before I even get to this sample ordinance, had I not made a phone call to the business administrator last Friday, this agenda would not have been put on the town website. Okay, so we keep hearing about transparency. That should have been on the town website Friday. And a copy of this ordinance, which we got, as Councilman Clark said, we got it yesterday. This should have been attached to it, so all the public had a chance to look at it. So, as people said that came up here today, this is a scary document, and I hope we're not basing rent control on this at all. There are a couple of things I wanted to point out. Well, as it was said before, Perth Amboy is a city of 55,000 people. We have 15,000. So, okay, and then what we looked at the last work session was from Lopakon. Again, hardly comparable to Phillipsburg. So, a couple of issues I have on this. There's one section here that says a complete rent roll for the immediate preceding year will be submitted to the rent leveling board by January 10th of each following year. Said rent rolls will include the rental status of all units and as to all occupied units, the amount being charged for that unit. The failure to timely submit such rent roll will be considered a violation of this chapter and punishable in accordance with its provisions. Now, what town employees are going to ensure compliance with this? Are we going to need yet more hires? Because I think we will. Adding again to our tax rolls. Okay. Violations and penalties. This is a very scary one. Any person, firm, or corporation who shall violate any of the provisions of this chapter, including but not limited to material misstatements contained in any of the notices required herein, shall, upon conviction, be punished by a fine not to exceed $500 or by imprisonment in the county jail or in any place provided by the municipality for the detention of prisoners, or both such fine and imprisonment, and each violation of any of the provisions of this chapter, and each day there is a violation shall be deemed and taken to a separate and distinct offense, and violations affecting more than one leasehold shall be considered separate violations. Imprisonment. If you're considering investing in Phillipsburg and you read something like this, are you going to come here or are you going to go elsewhere? Again, I'm not in favor of rent control. I never have been. I feel for the people who are having a hard time of it now, but I think this is a big no for Phillipsburg, and I think it would very, very much set us back.
Thank you, Councilman